Good evening. Controversies over Muncie's new fleet of ambulances. We'll tell you why people are upset.
And there's a new hat in the 2020 Indiana governor's race, and they're making history. Find out how tonight.
And the summer temperatures are here to stay. I'll tell you for how long coming up.
From the heart of Ball State University, live from the Unified Media Newsroom.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for being with us. I'm Colton Howard.
And I'm Madison Surface. The Muncie Fire Department held an open house tonight to show off new ambulances that will take to the streets. The move that gives the city their own fleet of ambulances has been met with both praise and controversy.
NewsLink Indiana's Tyler Brummett is live tonight in the newsroom. Tyler, why are people upset about this?
Yeah, well, Colton and Madison, some say these new vehicles are just simply not needed. Others say it's an opportunity to better serve the city and to help the county with their EMS program. Nonetheless, people had the chance tonight to voice their concerns and to take a look at the ambulances they will eventually be sharing the roads with. Hamburgers, hot dogs, chips. But this isn't your normal cookout. The Muncie Fire Department held an open house at Fire Station 3 Monday night. Rachel Clark was among those answering questions about the new ambulances that soon will be taking to the street. A big question? How are these vehicles different from the ambulances currently on the roads through Delaware County?
We do have a couple things that are not just standard basic life support. However, we will have paramedics that will respond with us, so they will have any additional gear that will make it equal to what Delaware County has.
Fire Chief Eddie Balls supports ambulances in the Muncie Fire Department. He says this project is one that will help out Delaware County EMS.
This is kind of a horseshoe, and one train can come by here and completely block out the city of Muncie. A lot of times they have to basically have other units come in to be able to take care of all the needs of everybody in the city of Muncie.
But not everyone agrees. Just check the City of Muncie Facebook page. One person says the city is trying to fix an unbroken problem. Another says give the money to the schools. And others like Troy Ingram are still undecided.
I still want to talk to maybe some surrounding communities that have about the same that are fire-based EMS, see how they deal with some of the problems that I'm sure Muncie's going to come across trying to start a new EMS service.
With all the debate back and forth, Chief Ball hopes everyone on both sides of the issue can find common ground.
We're not trying to turn this into a political football like it has been. We started out with this just trying to make sure that the Muncie citizens had the best service that they could possibly have.
Now, tonight's open house was the second of 3 open houses. The third and final open house will be held tomorrow night at Fire Station 2. Colton, Madison.
And Tyler, when will these ambulances be on the streets?
Well, Colton, that is a big question tonight as far as when these ambulances will be hitting the streets. Officials say there are a few more hurdles that they have to jump through. They hope that the vehicles will be operational by next month. Guys.
Thank you, Tyler. We'll keep you updated as this story becomes more developed.
Ball State University Department received reports of an assault on campus this weekend in an on-campus residential area. UPD is reminding students of sexual assault crime prevention tips.
An Indianapolis police officer was charged today after a disturbing Facebook video gone viral shows the officer striking a 17-year-old Shortridge High School student. Officer Robert Lawson was charged with battery, obstruction of justice, perjury, and official misconduct. Lawson filed a false report indicating that the violence was out of self-defense, but a Facebook post with now over 4,000 shares shows otherwise. Neither the juvenile or other officers present were charged.
The first openly gay gubernatorial candidate in Indiana has officially entered the 2020 governor race. Democrat Josh Owens is a Shelbyville business leader and an education advocate. Owens' campaign will focus on increasing teacher salary, legalizing marijuana, waive textbook fees for public schools, and order stronger background checks for any gun purchase.
A metal forming plant is planning on opening its doors in Bristol, which could bring 250 new jobs to the area. According to Elkhart County Economic Development Correspondent President Chris Stagger, the company plans on investing $38.5 million in equipment and $13.5 million in real estate. Because of this, Stagger requested a tax abatement from the Elkhart County Council for the young metal forming company named Brinko. Brinko plans to hire 150 new employees as part of their first phase and 250 employees by the second phase. This project could be expected to be completed in 2021. And speaking of 2021, I think that might be the first time that the weather starts to cool down. It has been hot for the middle of September.
It has been. I thought we had a glimpse of some of the fall weather and I was getting excited, but it is just super hot now. I wonder if Gabe has more on if it's going to cool down or not.
Gabe, what do you got for us?
Yeah, I'm wondering if you guys got a sneak peek of my 7-day forecast, because it doesn't look like we're going to see a cool down really anytime soon. Look at this. We got up to 87 degrees in Muncie today, the 90-degree mark in Terre Haute and Bloomington. It has been hot, hot, hot out there the last couple of weeks. And that continues this evening. We'll see temperatures only dropping down into the 70s, down to 70 degrees by 11 p.m. Partly cloudy skies really continuing. It'll stay that way through most of the evening, but we could see a bit of patchy fog in the morning hours. That's something we're tracking very closely later on this evening, though the summer-like temperatures are here to continue. But we could see a bit of rain finally over the weekend to break this summery stretch of weather. I'll have the details and time it all out in my full forecast.
And coming up on NewsLink Indiana, an investigation is underway after a shocking discovery at a home of a deceased Indiana abortion doctor. The steps investigators are taking and why he had to shut down his former practice next.
You might have paid a little more at the pump this weekend than you have been lately. We'll tell you why your wallet might not get a break anytime soon after the break.
No more, he didn't mean it.
No more, she seems fine to me.
No more, not my problem.
No more, she was drunk.
No more, he was drunk.
No more, she was asking for it.
No more, he didn't mean it.
No more, why didn't she tell anyone?
No more, we don't talk about that.
No more bystanding.
No more ignorance.
No more excuses.
No more.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
After retiring from the NFL, I've been able to spend a lot more time coaching my daughter's basketball teams. It's something I love to do. Through our games and our tournaments, we see all types of coaching, good and bad. And it begs the question, do we really know who's coaching our kids? Do they have the proper training and screening it would take for me to be comfortable with my daughters playing for that coach? Our Youth Basketball Association made the decision to use trusted coaches to screen and train all of our coaches. I'm a trusted coach. Are you?
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. There are calls for an investigation into Dr. Ulrich Klopfer's Indiana abortion clinic after more than 2,000 fetal remains were discovered at his Illinois home. Klopfer died earlier this month, but family found the remains just a couple of days ago while cleaning out his home. The doctor had multiple clinics in Indiana, and local pro-life groups want all of those clinics looked into, fearing there could be more remains. Max Lewis reports.
Shocking discovery at the Illinois home of former abortion doctor Ulrich Klopfer. Authorities there removing more than 2,000 fetal remains. Now, pro-life groups want more to be done.
We're publicly calling for an investigation of all three of his facilities.
Klopfer formerly ran 3 abortion clinics in Fort Wayne, Gary, and South Bend, and was known as one of Indiana's most prolific abortion doctors. Property records show Klopfer still owns the South Bend Clinic, and Jackie Appleman with St. Joseph County's Right to Life says Klopfer visited weekly up until his death. Her group is worried there could be more fetal remains that have yet to be found.
Klopfer was responsible for over 30,000 abortions. So the fact that they've only found 2,000 remains makes us question where are the other remains.
Klopfer's South Bend clinic opened in 1978 and closed in 2016, shortly after he stopped providing abortions. His initial trouble started in 2012 when Indiana's Attorney General opened an investigation into his practices and made several allegations, including improper staffing and errors on state-mandated medical records.
In the past, you've said that these were simply clerical errors.
Klopfer was later charged in 2014 after waiting for months to report an abortion on a 13-year-old girl.
We're all human beings, we all make mistakes, and we have to deal with the consequences, okay?
The doctor got more consequences 2 years later when the Indiana Medical Licensing Board suspended his license for documentation errors and failing to exercise reasonable care. Along with calling for further investigation, Right to Life says they are working with authorities to give the fetal remains what they call a proper burial.
Klopfer and any abortionist, leaves a horrific legacy of death and destruction.
Current South Bend abortion clinic Whole Woman's Health sent us a statement that says in part they are shocked by the news. It goes on to say, quote, "We join the community seeking more information and awaiting the results of the investigation." Klopfer's South Bend clinic was his last. The clinic in Fort Wayne closed in 2013 and his Gary clinic shuttered in 2014. Now the question for some is whether there remains more to be seen within these walls.
And again, that was Max Lewis reporting. NewsLink Indiana will continue to stay on top of this story. Gas prices are going up. Oil prices have skyrocketed after this weekend's attack on Saudi Arabian oil fields. Prices initially spiked as much as 18%, but have lessened since President Trump announced last night he has authorized the use of oil from the country's emergency oil supply. Trump said oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, or SPR, would be used to keep the market well supplied.
In a press conference on Monday, Saudi coalition spokesperson blamed Iran for the explosions at the world's biggest oil installations on Saturday. The spokesperson said Iranian weapons were used and the attack was not launched from Yemen. They did not provide details on the weapons.
A new 120-acre sports complex in southern Indiana expects to draw in youth sports leagues from across the region. The new complex in Charlestown will include an indoor facility with both turf and hard surfaces for many different sports and activities. Indoor amenities include training areas, conference spaces, and concessions. There will even be a lake for swimming, fishing, and kayaking. The sports complex project is expected to be completed in a phase over the next 5 to 6 years.
Ball State's Faculty Artist Series is set to go on tomorrow night in part of the music department's outreach program.
And to prepare for this upcoming showcase, the group has been performing locally. 5 Ball State string professors performed for the Grace Episcopal Church earlier today. It allowed the group to practice the show beginning to end, as well as play music for those who were unable to make it to the showcase tomorrow. The group began the performance as a string trio consisting of a viola, violin, and cello. As the performance went on, another viola was added, followed by a bass, making the group a string quartet by the end of the performance. You can catch their performance tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. in Sursa Hall.
While Hurricane Humberto mostly missed the devastated islands of the Bahamas, it resurfaced feelings of terror for the Hurricane Dorian survivors just 2 weeks after the Category 5 storm decimated much of Grand Bahama and the Abaco Islands. Residents along the East Coast could still see heavy rainfall as well as large swells and life-threatening rip currents along the shores. Luckily, the hurricane is not projected to make a direct impact to the U.S. Gabe, do you have any more on the hurricane?
Yeah, it's currently a Category 1 storm. The good news is nothing like Dorian, no impacts to the Bahamas like that or to the United States. It's forecast to make its way on off to the east, away from the United States, and really is the only eventful weather going on in the country. We have a quiet weather pattern here going on as well. I'll have the details on really the next chance we'll see some rain coming up after the break.
For those who serve today and those who served before them, for those whose sacrifice will never end, the Gary Sinise Foundation shows its gratitude through entertainment, outreach, and life-changing support. We can never give enough, but we can always give a little more. Find out how you can donate at GarySiniseFoundation.org.
Sometimes there's no do-over. Some things you can't rewind. That's when an extra safety step could mean the difference between a close call and a call to 911. Simple steps save lives. Learn more at poolsafely.gov.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. Gabe, the weather has been phenomenal recently. I haven't been complaining. I mean, my goodness.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's summer-like finally.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. I'm finally enjoying it. Everybody's waiting for it to get cold, and I'm like, no way, no way.
I'm with you. Yeah, this is good for me.
Yeah, I think it took us long enough to get here to the summer weather, and so why not just enjoy it?
Yeah, we had that sneak peek of fall just a couple of weeks ago, but the heat is really here to stay, and it really has remained that way through the day, all day long. It's finally a little cooler, down to 74 degrees, winds out of the north-northeast at around 6 miles per hour. It's not cooling us off all that much. It does still feel a bit humid, dew points in the mid-60s. Again, temperatures around the region have finally cooled down mostly. Still, though, hanging on to the 80s in Cincinnati and Evansville. They were up to 90 just a couple hours ago. So we're really starting to see those temperatures cool down, but the heat has really remained thanks to this pattern of the jet stream. Notice we have a big ridge in place across the Great Plains. That basically means just a long area of high pressure, and that's keeping the heat and humidity and really the clear skies in place all week long. This is going to continue as we progress all week long. Notice this ridge really remaining in place through the week. It's not until the weekend we start to see this trough move in. That'll bring us both cooler temperatures and a bit of rain for the weekend. But as far as this week, we're sunny and good to go. And notice this, no rain chances really all week long. The highest chance, 10% just tomorrow. In a couple of days, we have a brief front move through tomorrow, not bringing us any rain though. So we're going to stay dry all week long. Staying dry tonight as well. 63 degrees will be the low, partly cloudy skies, though notice a bit of fog on this graphic. With those cooler temperatures and the humidity around, we could see some patchy fog in a few locations tonight. Let's time that out on precision counts. Notice as we move into the early morning hours, some areas dropping down to below a mile in visibility. Notice Muncie down to just 0.6 of a mile and really remaining that way through the later morning hours around 9 a.m. So we could see a few school delays, though. Notice kind of these just more dark circles. That basically indicates the fog is going to be pretty patchy in nature. So not everyone will see some fog. Not everyone will see school delays, but just something you might want to start planning ahead for now and keeping in mind. We'll see that fog, though, begin to burn off pretty later on in the morning hours. We do cool off down to 66 degrees by 9 a.m., up to 74 by noon. Those clouds beginning to build out as well as the fog burns off. We'll get up just to the 80-degree mark by later on in the early afternoon hours. And the heat sticks around through the 7-day forecast. Notice, though, just a little cooler tomorrow. That's thanks to that brief front moving through that'll bring us some of those clouds as well. But look at this on the mid 7-day forecast, up to 86 on Thursday. Sunny skies. It'll be a gorgeous day, feeling just like summer. And really continuing all week long. It's not until Sunday we start to see the next chance of rain and temperatures back into the 70s, though it'll bring us some relief for your Monday. But as we mentioned, really summer is here to stay and stick around. So hopefully you're not too antsy for the fall weather.
No, the fall weather can wait. The summertime is here, and I hope it's here to stay.
Yeah.
I might actually go get my car washed this week. It looks like it's going to be a good week.
Yes, that is true. You raise a good point. If you need a car wash, this is the week to do it.
Okay. Well,
thank you, sunshine.
Thank you so much, Gabe. Well, football and women's volleyball both hope to come back for some losses this week.
Who those teams are playing and where you can cheer them on next in sports.
So if one cat has 4 kittens who reproduce every 6 months, how many cats will there be in 5 years? Who's got it? Is this... What is that? Seriously? Who threw that?
Cats are terrible at math, but they sure do multiply. Please spay, neuter, and adopt.
The solution is 10. I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore. And frustration, a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy and giving up impossible. I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought and unconventional methods common. I'm a teacher. I make more.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Imani Butts with sports. Women's volleyball is back home this weekend after spending the weekend on the road. The Cardinals will play host to Missouri State, Austin Peay, and the Wright State in this weekend's event. As the team is looking to bounce back from close losses to Notre Dame and Cincinnati last week, the coaches say they have grown and learned a lot from last week's matches. The team is excited for the opportunities to play some really good teams that are near the top of their conferences. Although the Cardinals have a young team, the coaches like where the team stands as they have worked hard and made improvements as the season goes on.
I think this weekend's going to be 3 good matches. Our 2 matches on Saturday are going to be high-level competitive matches. I think this weekend is definitely going to be a test for us. It's always a test when you're playing teams that are consistently at the top of their conference, and that's what we need.
The first match will be at 4 p.m. on this Friday versus the winner of Missouri State and Wright State. The action will resume on Saturday starting at 10 a.m. Coming up this Saturday, the Ball State football team will be traveling to the Tar Heel State of North Carolina, and they will face the North Carolina State Wolfpack. The Cardinals will try to reverse the outcome of their game during family weekend, and they'll look to focus on the team as they eye this week's matchups. They are ready to correct the unintended mistakes and implement a new plan to score a victory. The team's morale is still very high as they travel this week, and they believe what sets them apart from other teams, that's what sets them apart from other teams. The new tactics include working on ball security and concentrating on not allowing turnovers to happen, and that starts with making better decisions and expecting a better result.
Yeah, everything's correctable. We made some physical errors too, but at the end of the day you can live with those. It's just the mental errors that you have to correct. So moving forward, we'll look at the tape. I don't necessarily know everything that happened in the game, but we'll look at the tape tomorrow and we'll get better from it, and we'll make those corrections for NC State.
Kickoff is set to air this Saturday on ESPNU at 7 p.m. Delta High School took the field this week in a lot less friendly of a matchup. Delta played host to Yorktown, and following a first possession fumble, lightning struck and the game was delayed. Coming back from the delay, however, it was all Eagles offense led by quarterback Brady Hunt. Hunt had 3 total touchdowns. Delta stood strong, holding Yorktown just to 1 touchdown the entire game. Fans left the game satisfied as the Eagles took the 38-6 win.
We talk about the likeness of the schools as well. We have a similar population. We're all around 800 kids. We play in the same conference. and it's for bragging rights in Muncie. Everyone goes to Chick-fil-A and everyone goes to the movies, and there's only so much you can do in Muncie. So those kids, there's a lot of interaction between those kids. So you want to be supreme for 365 days.
This brings Delta's record to 4-0 on the season. Next on their agenda is a away contest at Mount Vernon Friday this evening at 7:30. And honestly, that was a very intense game, and I was there. You had to be there to see it.
Well, it seems like these rivals, they're just talk. That's all they are until they get to that Friday night, and then they're able to, let it all out. But speaking of talking, up next in Trending, find out which commercial has had people talking.
Also, learn what movie has topped the box office for 2 weeks running.
Hey, did you know 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Let's go to theshelterpetproject.org and meet a few who are in a shelter near you. Harlow, she's one great listener who loves to hear all your stories. My kind of cat. Cerulo is a sweet, goofy boy who's eager to please. Sounds just like another dog I know. So go to theshelterpetproject.org, search your local shelters and rescues, and go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Problems. The ones nobody talks about at cocktail parties. We go looking for them. No matter the obstacles, no matter the odds, we surround a community's most critical problems, and we fight. United Way fights for the health, education, and financial stability of every person in every community. Will you?
It doesn't take a scientist to cure hunger or a fancy economist to create safe housing. It takes imagination, creativity, sweat equity. And I think of kids going to school hungry. Hunger, homelessness. In this land of plenty, seriously? Come on, we could fix this. Help out, or don't. The choice is yours.
Here's your sandwich, miss.
Oh, thank you.
And your burger.
Awesome, thank you.
And your bowl of boiling water, sir.
Welcome back. Time now to take a look at what's trending.
And joining us now is NewsLink Indiana's Peyton Green. Peyton, what do you have for us?
Remember the controversial Nike ad featuring Colin Kaepernick? Well, now this is an ad as part of an Emmy-winning campaign. The commercial featured other iconic athletes like LeBron James and Serena Williams. The ad is titled Dream Crazy and received the Emmy for Outstanding Commercial at the 2019 Creative Arts Emmy Awards. Colin Kaepernick has made headlines before for kneeling during the national anthem before games as a protest for injustice. It Chapter 2 is at the top of the box office again. The thriller, based off one of the Stephen King's bestseller, has hit #1 for the second week in a row. The movie came out just in time for spooky season, and it seems like everyone is wanting to see the evil clown Pennywise because the movie has pocketed over $40 million.
Hello.
Believe it or not, the opening weekend, this scary sequel has made more than 50%. In the sequel, the Loser Club reunites for 27 years later to defeat the evil clown once again. If you hadn't seen it yet, you're missing out. Make sure to get your tickets for this week to see what all the fuss is about. Wow.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I cannot do scary movies. That is not up my alley at all.
I don't think I can watch it. Clowns are probably my third worst fear.
Yes. I thought the first It was It. They're going to be dragging me. Somebody's going to drag me to this movie, and I'm going to hate every minute of it.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah, I'm not so much of a fan of it as well. The weather hasn't felt like the season either lately. It's felt like summertime still, and it's going to stay that way at least through the rest of this week. We'll see temperatures continuing into the mid-80s to the lower 80s as well. Sunshine really all week long. The next shot of rain really doesn't arrive the second half of the weekend when we see a cold front move through, dropping temperatures back into the upper 70s.
Well, that's it for tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to join us again tomorrow night at 9, streaming live on NewsLink Indiana's Facebook page.
And for news anytime, anywhere, go to ballstatedaily.com. Have a great night.